and welcome to Firm Foundation Bitesize Lesson number 9, God Created the Heavens and the Earth, Part 3. In our last lesson, we covered the creation of the first 2 days. Now let's continue with day number 3. Genesis chapter 1, verse 9. And God said, "Let the waters under the heavens be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the waters that were gathered together he called seas. And God saw that it was good. And God said, "Let the earth sprout vegetation, plants yielding seed, and fruit trees bearing fruit, in which their seed, each according to its kind, on the earth." And it was so. And the earth brought forth vegetation, plants yielding seed according to their own kinds, and trees bearing fruit, in which their seed, each according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening and there was morning the third day. Now we come to A. God creates land and vegetation. Well, on the third day, God begins to gather the waters into the seas and set boundaries for them, thus creating landmass. And for the first time, dry ground appears and begins to yield green vegetation. And this paves the way for the creation of animals and human beings. Also, for the first time in verse 11, the land is commanded to bring forth vegetation. There's no hint of a pagan Mother Earth. We hear the term Mother Earth all the time, but there is no Mother Earth. Mother Earth is a polite way of denying God as creator. It's used by the same folks that believe in the Big Bang Theory or they believe in Earth Day. The vegetation is of two kinds expressed in general categories: plants producing seed and fruit trees whose fruit possess seeds. B. God creates the seed, an important theme throughout the Bible. Now this is the first occurrence of the term seed. This is an all-important theme throughout the Bible. You see, seed in the Bible is often used for offspring or children. The Bible says that the nation and the people of Israel, they came forth from the seed of Abraham. The Bible says that from the seed of Abraham will come one who will be the Redeemer for Israel and all mankind. Paul writes in Acts 3:25, "It is you who are the sons of the prophets, and of the covenant which God made with your fathers, saying to Abraham, 'And in your seed all the families of the earth shall be blessed.'" C. Everything comes from its own kind. Now here's the other amazing thing revealed here on the third day of creation. The vegetation, just like the waters, is given prescribed boundaries. They reproduce according to their various kinds. Kind is used for broad categories of animals, birds, and fish. In other words, a grain of wheat will yield wheat, not roses. An apple seed will bring forth apples, not oranges. A dog will produce other dogs, not cats. A horse will produce more horses, not cows or pigs. A giraffe will give birth to a giraffe, not a frog or a lion or a cow. Do you see that? God created everything to give birth to its own kind, and this flies in the face of evolution, which says that we all evolved from slime. But you see, here's the thing. They've never found the missing link. There is no evidence of any transitional species. You don't find the bones of a half man, half dog. You don't find the remains of a half fish, half horse. Of course not. You, as a human being, came from an entire line of human beings, traced all the way back to Adam and Eve. Your dog or cat came from a line of dogs or cats and didn't evolve from a fish or some other organism. Do you see how stupid and idiotic it is to think that you evolved from some slime? I have a quote here from Dr. Colin Paterson, senior paleontologist at the British Museum of Natural History, where he writes and says, "I fully agree with your comments on the lack of evolutionary transitions in my book. If I knew of any fossil or living, I would certainly have included them. I will lay it on the line. There is not one such fossil." See, God made all the plants and trees, and God alone has the knowledge to create plant life. God, in his infinite wisdom, was able to create all plant life and to perfectly suit every kind to the rest of the earth system that he was creating. God made the plants produce seeds which would produce more like the original, and God concludes his work on the third day by saying it was good. And the evening and the morning were the third day. And remember, according to the Hebrew mindset and according to God, a day begins in the evening, and so evening and morning make up a day. Actually, from sundown to sundown is one day. And now D, the creation of the sun, moon, and stars. Genesis 1, verse 14, "And God said, 'Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. Let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth.' And it was so. And God made two greater lights, the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night. He made stars also. And verse 17, and God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. Day 4 included the sun to rule the day, and the moon and the stars to rule the night. The sun is described as the greater light, and the moon as the lesser light, and the stars are the lights in the firmament. Genesis shows that the sun and moon are not deities which were worshipped by many pagan cultures. The sun deity was of great importance to the Babylonians. And the psalmist makes the following declaration about God's creation of the heavens. The heavens proclaim the glory of God. The skies display his craftsmanship. These heavenly bodies were to serve as signs for seasons and days and years. These terms, as well as day and night in verse 5, are meaningless without the existence of the sun and the rotation of the planets. Also, in observing the sun and the moon, the Israelites created a calendar that was so accurate. And God said that all he made on the fourth day was good. Well, in our next bite-sized lesson, number 10, we'll look at the creation of fish and birds on the fifth day. Make it a point to join me for lesson number 10. Until then, shalom.